This is my latest MIDI controller. I've built quite a few since probably I posted a video. This is actually the second version, this being the first in this wood case. But I got a 3D printer, so I decided to remake it with these nice soft buttons. It's running a Teensy 3.2 inside of there, and these buttons are from SparkFun here in Boulder. So yeah, it's a basic MIDI controller. It does quite a bit more than some of my older ones. So it's controlling Model 15 right now here on the iPad. So basic note on, note off. All 8 of these up top are all different CCs, so I have them mapped to do various things in Model 15 right now. This knob over here, so I'll move it over a little bit. This is a global velocity control, as these are not velocity sensitive pads. And this knob does a couple different things. Right now it will add an octave when you get the middle, and then it'll add an octave on the bottom. Usually keep it here, as you already have 4 octaves to play with. So when you hold down this button, which is kind of like a function button, the display here will tell you various things that's going on with the controller. The first row will be the MIDI channel that it's transmitting on. So you can select 1 to 8. Second row will be the key. So we have A through G and then a chromatic. So and so on. These next 2 rows deal with the internal sequencer that's built into it. Just to start that off, if you tap this first one, you can see it blinking, and that indicates that the sequence will run once you let go of the function button, and it's going. So that's cool. This row here, when the sequence is running, does various things. So this indicates where you are with time. So this is exactly what the knob, whatever you put in, will be here. If you select the next one down, it'll cut that time in half. As you can see, it's going quite a bit slower, and then you can cut it in half once more. It's going really slow, and then you can double it, and then double it again. So that way you can keep in time with whatever the original sequence was. So let's put that back to just 1. So cool, we have a sequence running, but how do you get notes to play? So there's 2 different ways I've built into this to do that. The first one is this button right over here. Once you hit it, this green LED will turn red, indicating that it's recording whatever you play. You kind of have to be on time when you do that and play the note right when it's on the pad that you want that note to play on. So it's a little difficult sometimes, but let's just speed it up and just enter a bunch of random notes. So right when I hit this, I'll just start playing some really rough, I mean, it's not going to be musical at all, but so, and then it's done, and now we're playing it back. So that's cool, and then we'll double the time. So, well, actually, let's clear that out really quick. Alright, so we have a clear sequence. You clear a sequence with just this one when function is held down. So another way to enter notes is you have to hit this button here. That is essentially just putting it into a different mode. So when your sequence is running, when you hold down a button, you can then select which note you want that to be. Which takes a little more time, but obviously recording in live is way quicker, but you can mess up, you know, a lot easier doing it that way. This way is you know what you're doing, like you know what you're entering into the sequence. So, and then if you like that, you can also still record live. And then I messed that one up. So if you mess up, you can just hold down on the note, and once the LED turns off, that note has been removed from the sequence. So we have that guy. Let's go ahead and turn off sequence mode. So in addition to sequencing notes, you can actually also record knob movements. You can record the CC values into the steps with the live record function. So let's go ahead and play that again. I'm gonna hit that, and then I'm just gonna mess with this first one. And we got it. So there we go. Now it's sequencing this knob movement I made. And then you can record more of them as well. And obviously it does it in kind of a step fashion, but that's just kind of the nature of it. Let's make that super fast. So there we go. So let's go ahead and clear that out. And then so there's also another sequence mode. So let's start up the sequencer, and then if you hit this guy, that means it's in polyphonic sequence mode, which you'll obviously see by the fact that it's lighting up all of them. The bottom row here is kind of hard to see that it's actually lighting up on the camera, but it's just because I have sort of a lot of light just for this video. But yeah, so we have a polyphonic sequence mode. We only have 8 steps in this instance, but you can still do some cool stuff. Slow that down quite a bit. Actually, let's go. So then you can just live record in as well. So then you can record up to 4 notes per row, and then you can also still record in sequences of the knob movements as well. And yeah. Anyway, it's kind of some bad notes I was playing, but so yeah, I think that about covers everything it can do. My old one that I had, that wooden one that I showed, actually had a slave to MIDI clock function, but I ended up not really using it all that often, so I figured just like an internal sequencer might be kind of cool, just to play around with notes and stuff and see what it can record. I mean, you can get some pretty insane sounds, like just going nuts with the sequencing of CCs, just recording in random notes. Like speeding it up. Going into chord mode. Pretty nuts. Go ahead and clear that out. So yeah, that's about all there is to this new guy. Super stoked on it. It's been really cool. It's been fun to build. If anyone is interested in the code, I could provide it. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that.